You walk into a room and you already know, before anyone speaks, who's tense, who's leading, who's pretending to agree, who wants to leave, who doesn't belong. No one announces it. There's no obvious signal, but the atmosphere hits you instantly. And you don't try to notice it. You just do. It's automatic. Sometimes it's useful. Sometimes it's exhausting. Sometimes you wish you could turn it off. Because while everyone else is just arriving, you're decoding. But here's the part that's easy to misunderstand. This isn't insecurity, and it isn't anxiety. It's resolution. 1. You register what others filter out. Most people focus on content, what's being said, what topic is on the table, what they're going to contribute. You notice delivery, the half-second pause before someone answers, the tightness in a smile, the way one person leans back when another speaks, the tone shift when a specific name is mentioned. You don't consciously analyze it. Your brain flags it. Pattern deviation, signal inconsistency, micro-tension. While others track words, you track alignment, and alignment tells you more than dialogue ever could. 2. Timing gaps speak louder than statements. You notice who interrupts and who gets interrupted. You notice when laughter is delayed, when agreement sounds rehearsed, when enthusiasm is slightly overperformed. These aren't dramatic cues, they're micro signals. Most people miss them because they're busy preparing to respond. You're not just preparing to speak, you're modeling the room, and that model updates in real time. Who has influence? Who feels excluded? Where the fault lines are? It's not hypervigilance. You're not scanning for danger. You're scanning for structure. If this is just pattern recognition, why does it sometimes feel so personal? Why does the mood of the room affect you so quickly? 3. You mirror before you decide to. Here's what's happening underneath. Your nervous system syncs fast. Posture shifts, breathing rhythms, speech cadence. Before you consciously choose how to show up, your system has already adjusted to the dominant tone. If the room is heavy, you feel heavier. If it's competitive, you sharpen. If it's fractured, you brace. This isn't weakness. It's bandwidth. High social signal processing means you don't just observe energy, you register it somatically, and that makes you responsive, sometimes before you intend to be. 4. You see social hierarchies instantly. Within minutes, you know who defers to whom, who is posturing, who holds unspoken authority, who is socially safe, who is managing perception. No one teaches this. You infer it from eye contact patterns, from who finishes whose sentences, from who gets validated and who gets ignored. Most people enter rooms to participate. You enter rooms already mapping them, and mapping changes how you move. You don't speak randomly. You position, not manipulatively, strategically, because once you see the grid, you can't unsee it. You were never too sensitive. You were reading resolution. Others don't even register. 5. You detect incongruity immediately. Someone says they're fine. Their shoulders say otherwise. A leader claims confidence. Their pacing says doubt. A friend insists it's no big deal. Their micro-hesitation exposes weight. You don't need confession. You see mismatch. And mismatch pulls at your attention because incongruity is unstable. Your brain wants coherence. So you either adjust to stabilize it or you distance yourself from it. What you can't do is ignore it. 6. Words are secondary data for you. If someone's tone contradicts their content, you trust the tone. If their body contradicts their statement, you trust the body because you process communication as layered, verbal, vocal, behavioral. Most people consciously track one layer. You integrate all three, which means you often know the direction of a conversation before it gets there. You can sense when conflict is brewing, when attraction is mutual, when resentment is unspoken. And that predictive capacity makes you seem intuitive, but it's not mysticism, it's high-speed modeling. So here's the tension. If you can read the room this clearly, why do you sometimes feel out of place inside it? 7.
Seeing the grid separates you from it. When you're aware of the structure, you can't fully suspend into the performance. You see the alliances forming. You see the subtle competition. You see who's adapting their personality to fit. And part of you stays slightly outside it all, observing, calibrating. Sometimes that distance feels lonely because while others are immersed in interaction, you're aware of the mechanics underneath it. You're playing the game, but you're also studying it simultaneously. And that dual awareness can create separation, not because you don't belong, because you see too much to be unconscious. 8. Your presence is strategic, not accidental. Slow this down. You don't just show up, you adjust pressure, tone, timing, intensity, based on the model you've built in seconds. You know when to soften, when to challenge, when to stay quiet, when to redirect attention. Not because you're fake, because you're precise. Most people rely on fixed personality in social spaces. You rely on adaptive calibration. That's not people-pleasing. That's social fluency. And here's the final shift. You don't read rooms because you're anxious. You read rooms because your brain is wired for high-resolution pattern detection in human systems. The real question isn't, why am I like this? It's this. When you walk into a room and instantly feel the grid, do you shrink to fit it, or do you realize you're one of the few who can actually see it?